Hey guys, I'm Grestar, and how about we react to RWBY Volume 2, Chapter 6, Burning the Candle. Now, as with my other RWBY reactions, this video will only include me, so if you would like to watch the actual RWBY episode along with me, make sure to click here. It will take you to the Rooster Teeth YouTube channel under the RWBY playlist, and to the exact video that I'm using. Wah! So yes, for the best synchronization possible, you should click on this one, because I don't think that the Netflix version or the DVD version has the same timestamps and all that, so you should use this. Now, last time, I think the biggest things that happened were we got to see how cool Pyrrha was at fighting at the very beginning and how she is a very possible candidate to participate in the Vital tournament. So that's pretty cool. I mean, we always knew that Pyrrha was a good fighter, and so just seeing her, like, prove herself by fighting, like, all of Team Cardinal at once, it was pretty sweet. But then Mercury challenged her, and he forfeited pretty early on. But at the end of the episode, we learned that he was just, like, kind of testing her, and he got to see that through her semblance of polarity, she was just kind of, like, gradually, like, barely moving his attacks, like, just enough so that she was untouchable, you know? And they took that as a super interesting thing. I took it as, oh, that's smart, you know? But, yeah, so that's what it is. They're, like, gradually finding out about the combatants of the tournament, or even just the fighters available at the school in general. I mean, if they can target the strongest people and learn about them, they would have a much easier time during an assault or whatnot, if that's what they have planned. The other thing is that there is a dance coming up that weekend. I believe it's that weekend. And the girls are trying to get Blake to go, because Blake has just been obsessing over the whole White Fang thing. She hasn't been eating, she hasn't been sleeping, she's been slacking in her studies and everything, but she just kind of refuses. She says, like, how can you guys relax when, you know, there are bad things happening and people could be dying and everything, which, you know, is fair, but at the same time, you just can't do anything at that point. And, you know, beating yourself up, you know, not sleeping and everything, that's not helping anyone, that's only hurting you. And if the time came where you needed to act, you would be, well, you would be in a bad place to do so. So, you know, it sucks that Blake is in that position, and I just want her to stop, you know, to let her, let her friends help her. Wait, no. For her to let her friends help her. That's what I meant. Yeah, okay. So, I just want her to do that, but I understand. So I understand where she was in that episode. I understand where Jean was, you know, with his, you know, rejection by Weiss. And I understand where Pyrrha is, where, you know, I think that Pyrrha likes Jean, and Jean's just completely oblivious to it. And yeah, so it sucks all around. And so now this episode, Chapter 6, Burning the Candle, I don't know what to expect. The episode title doesn't really... well, it doesn't bring anything to mind, so I can't make any sort of speculation off of that, really, and I'm not going to bother to do so when we have the video right here for our viewing pleasure. So with that, let's get to watching. Alright guys, here's how we're gonna do this. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, play, and when I say play, you hit play, and hopefully this will give us the best synchronization possible. So, 3, 2, 1, play. Alright. Time for the intro now. Yeah. I don't know, I wonder if they're gonna target Pyrrha specifically in some subtle manner to try to take her out of the competition, you know, early on, or just out of the picture, or if they're just gonna kind of gradually work their way through and learn more about everyone that they can. I don't know. I also kind of wonder if they're going to underestimate Team RWBY, because they don't seem like the toughest team. They seem a little bit more slacky, a little bit more goofy, so I just wonder if there's going to be underestimating there, but that's all just wondering, you know. Anything could happen. And, you know, something I didn't actually talk about at the end of last chapter, I do really like I do really like Mercury's fighting style. It is cool. So, I like hand-to-hand stuff. Or I guess foot to the shield, you know what I mean. Okay, pink! They're the same. Are they not the same? We'll show off. It even makes the table jump. Okay. And you know how important a fog machine is. Oh snap. Ah. At least there's a shirt involved. Okay. Trusting you with this, Yang. What you doing there, Blake? That's so mean. Because she's a cat. You could do it. It's fun that she's actually, like, following it. You couldn't have just gone over to her? What's up? Alright. Wait, what are you two talking about? Oh. Yeah, I wonder what he's doing now. As he's sitting nearly naked. How to girls. That little outburst was great. Poor guy. Wait, have I heard her sing? Hmm. The poor Ren just sitting there like. That's a good point. I mean, it doesn't mean that it has to be reciprocated or well received, but it's, you know, it's a good point. I like that advice. I mean, we knew, so. I just keep hearing Torchic. Hmm. Little Yang. And you could barely stand. Hmm. It's quite fortunate. Oh, she's Fire Eyes. It's like, this is a weird little shove, but guess it proves a point. Oh, snap. I don't think that was real for... I'm kidding. Uh-oh. Please, Neptune, be gay. Please, Neptune, be gay. Wait, Jean, you didn't hear any response. We didn't hear any response. I want to hear the response. Aren't you guys all supposed to wear white? That's what it looked like, all the girls in white, you know? Huh. He actually did it. Yay. Yang. So now I'm waiting to see who Weiss is with, you know? So not every girl's wearing white, just a majority, maybe. Yeah, dance and stuff. Yeah. Right. Good. Yay, dancing! We still didn't get to see who Weiss actually went with. At the end, we saw that she was talking to a dude who wasn't Neptune, but... Okay. Oh, that song totally speaks all the, thoughts of the characters. Pre-order RWBY Volume 2 now at store.roosterteeth.com. Blu-ray and DVD ships November 14, 2014. And yes, we're at the annotation part now. So we're almost to the point where we get to talk about this episode. Are y'all excited? I bet you are. Even though I don't think I have a lot to say about this one. Warning in advance. Alright. So that was the end of the episode. And this episode was 13 minutes and 23 seconds long. So now it's time to talk about it. Alright, so the biggest part about this episode, in my opinion, is actually just seeing Blake calm down a bit about her obsession, She was obsessing over finding the White Fang, ASAP. And I think that the biggest thing, because that did carry out for a few episodes now, is that she, Yang did convince her to just not stop, but to slow down with it. I think that's the biggest part. We did, of course, also get to hear more about RWBY's, and especially Yang's backstories. So they're not exactly sisters, they're half-sisters. So that's interesting. I wonder if RWBY also knows that. I mean... because Yang didn't know that until RWBY's mother died, right? If I'm understanding correctly. And so I wonder if RWBY knows that now. I don't know. Because, their names are different. I mean, RWBY Rose and Yang Xiaolong, different last names, and so it seems like they would both know, but we just learned about Yang's, side of it, so... I don't know. It would be cool to hear RWBY's side of the story too, but I'm not expecting it at least anytime in the near future. But I did really like seeing that. Poor little Yang, And that kind of... I mean, it might make more sense of Yang's personality too, being the kind of jokester. Maybe it is sort of a defense mechanism of sorts, A lot of times it's said that the people who are the most funny often have, the most sadness within them, that kind of thing, or people who joke the most or whatever. There are variations of that sort of thought, but, I'm not gonna say it's always true, but it's one of those, sayings for a reason. I mean, I think aside from those two things, with Blake kind of just slowing down with her obsession and, revealing Yang's and RWBY's backstories a little bit more. I think the only other things we really got to see are, Pyrrha's crush on Jean and Jean's trying to get with Weiss. And, his attempts were noble. And it was really sad how he just, dropped the flower and left. I'm a sentimental person, so seeing that, was sad for me. And I really wish that we got to see Neptune turn Weiss down. Honestly, I wish that it had stayed there a little bit longer. But I guess that was kind of from the perspective of Jean at that point. So once he was gone, we were also gone. But I honestly hope that Neptune is gay. It seems like he could easily play that part, So I think it'd be fun. And then, Weiss would not have a chance with that. Because, Weiss is a female, if you weren't aware. And then, not that I want Jean to get with Weiss. I just want Jean to be happy. But I also want Pyrrha to be happy. So I would rather Jean get with Pyrrha. But it's a delicate situation that they're in if Jean likes Weiss, It's not as easy, I don't think, as Weiss rejecting Jean really hard, Jean being crushed, and then, rebounding with Pyrrha. I don't think that would be healthy. But, he needs to lose his attraction for Weiss first. Or at least gain a genuine attraction in that way, for Pyrrha. So, who knows if that's gonna happen anytime soon. But one can hope. Yeah, I can't think of anything else right now that really actually happened in this episode, and I'm not faulting the episode for that, to be honest. I'm just thinking, like this episode, I was fine with it. From the length to the content, even if it didn't have, a ton of stuff, even if it was mostly, more about character interaction and development, I was cool with it. So, yeah, that was great. And then it's kind of setting up the fact that, Emerald and Mercury showed up to the dance right after, the ominous kind of thing, this will be a night to remember sort of deal from Ozpin. Not that he meant it in any sort of ominous way, but just having that and then them stepping in. The next episode could well start still at the dance, and then things could happen at the dance, or it could be completely innocent. And in which case, I think it would be kind of weird in that case if it was completely innocent, just because of when the two did enter and how much of a focus that received. But it's possible. I mean, it's kind of weird talking about speculations because that's all it is. It's just speculating. Like, you can't say anything for sure until it happens. So, you know, and I don't like being a definitive person, you know, or like speaking in definitive ways. I don't like saying, oh, it's this and it's going to be this and then this is definitely going, you know. I like saying, well, this is what I think based upon this stuff, but it's possible that it could be not that, you know, that sort of deal. So I don't know if that frustrates people. I know some people don't like going back and forth, but I don't like being solid when it's not for sure. Anyway, those are my thoughts on this episode. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comments below, whether you liked it, disliked it, etc., what you thought about this or that. But do not, and I repeat, do not spoil things for me. Thank you very much. You can talk about this episode and any episode in the past, but do not talk about anything in the future. You can clarify things that have already been talked about, that have already been expressed throughout Volume 1 or so far up to this point in Volume 2, but anything new, do not tell me. I will find out in due time. Thank you very much. So yes, with that, we're calling it here. Cue outro, go!